I Am Athlete, the origins to where it is now, we got to talk about the split.
Yep.
We got to address the elephant in the
trying to
room.
get
I was just finna end the show. I was finna end the show, but
we ain't gonna be messy. But
Let's
you know,
end it.
I will say this: we ain't gonna be messy. But Fred is on his way over here, just so you know. So watch what you say. So
Yeah, Fred like 3 houses down. So
he's gonna pull up. But nah. So what was the split like? Was it just business or just because everything comes to an end, right? And
y'all would break the internet if y'all actually got Fred to actually sit here and then we talk about it.
oh, so tell us what happened.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but
y'all would break the internet.
He on the way. But you can tell us your side.
Yeah. So your question is, so I've talked about it a few times. You know, for the first 8-9 months, I tried to take the high road. I did take that high road.
Take the low one today. I want to hear what happened.
we
want the dirt.
See, we need.
You supposed to be an attorney. You supposed to be telling me the opposite.
It ain't legal though.
Look, this is what I would say. This is how I would do this.
See, we want the Pittsburgh answer. We don't want the I Am Athlete answer.
He finna water this
we want Pittsburgh B.Marsh. Pittsburgh B.Marsh.
If you talking to somebody, they thinking about it. They contemplating what to say. Trying to say the right thing. So you going back to what Ricky said. You say the stuff that you really want to say.
We go back to mental. Let's go back to mental health, and it's not even mental health. It's just about just how to be a decent human being. You got to take accountability.
What you trying to say?
Look yourself in the mirror. We talked about self-assessment, right? So this is what I would do. In retrospect, had a vision. Literally a couple of houses down before you moved in the neighborhood. I'm sitting out there on my porch. Channing Crowder sitting there. And he was one of my all-time favorite teammates, one of them. And I'm like, damn, let's start a podcast. Why? Because during the time you had the Stephen A. Smiths of the world, like, streaming live from their cribs with AirPods in.
Right.
Grainy, look bad. I was like, yo, we could potentially sell a show.
Right.
So I'm like, boom, Chan, like, would you do this? Yeah. It's like, you think Fred T would do? Tomorrow I'm going to pull up on Fred T. He said, yeah, go holler at him. Jump in my golf cart, drive over. Fred T, boom. Yeah, I'll rock with you. Same thing with Reggie Wayne. In that moment, right, I'm leaning on friendships. What should have happened in that moment, in retrospect on me, here's a offer, here's a contract. Let's button this up from the beginning.
Right.
Right? A season go by, we didn't sell a show. Had my guys showing up twice a month, 2 hours a pop, just creating content.
Right.
Sometimes they come, sometimes they won't. Like you'll see if you go back and watch that. Sometimes other people was plugging in, but they were showing up for the most part.
When you say they, who you talking about? They go to lawyer. When
Channing,
you say they,
Fred, Reggie, right? There's a couple shows where the schedules didn't align.
Right.
But everybody was doing their part. Everybody was bought in. Right. I'm working it Monday through Friday. I'm investing the money.
Right. Like you investing all the money.
All the money.
Okay.
Right. All the money. Right. Because the just off a handshake was when we sell a show, we split it evenly, right? I started learning, right? Showtime looked at me. I love you, Brandon. You've been on our network for 7 years, but the other guys, I don't know, right? Channing was just doing local radio for 10 years, covering the Dolphins.
Got to put him on, bro.
Local guys. And then you got Fred T, legend in football. Like, he should be a Hall of Famer. Talk about a guy need to be a Hall of Famer.
Yes.
He should be a Hall of Famer.
He should.
Okay?
He should.
So then you go to Fred T, and it's like, but Fred T ain't really doing media.
Right.
I mean, I think he's calling some stuff locally in Jacksonville for the Jaguars. And Reggie was doing some for NFL Network. So they were like, yo, just change up the squad. Because back then it was all about big names.
Right.
And I said, no, I gave them my word.
Right.
So I can't do that. Then I had other people come in. I want to buy the we need to own the IP. We need to do this and that. I was like, no, I said no probably 1,000 times to some deals that, majority would say yes to. So after that season, we didn't accomplish the goal. The goal was to sell the show.
Right.
So after that season, I sat down with my agent at WME, know nothing about like the production world, right? It was only House of Athlete, 5-year roadmap business plan. So I sit down with my guys there to represent like some of the biggest names in sports, production companies, and they sell shows all the time. Like, yo, I'm gonna continue with this. How should I approach it? So they gave me all the stuff like, this is how you bring in production, this is how you rev share, this is how you do X, Y, and Z. Okay. So I go, we have a meeting. Mm-hmm. Hey guys, here's the information I got from WME and my agency. Mm-hmm. I advise you guys to do the same, because I don't want anybody to look at this and say like I'm trying to take. I didn't even use the words taking advantage because it wasn't even near. Right. It was just like, yo, I just want y'all to make sure that y'all comfortable with this. So do y'all work. I did my work, and this is what they're saying is industry standard. Right. It was just an offer sheet to continue for another season. I couldn't ask them for season 2 to do another season for free. Right. So what ended up happening is like you had 2 opportunities. One, you can invest, right, and we rev share, or 2, you can take a per episode fee.
Right.
Channing said, bro, this is my dog. He's like, yo, you like the risk stuff. I don't like that. Like, I just give me my per episode fee. Reggie Wayne, up until like the day before we about to shoot season 2, he's like, I might be going to Indy doing this and that. And at the last moment, I called Ocho. Mm-hmm. I'm like, Ocho, would you do this? Right. And I was like, bro, I got X amount per episode. Like, fuck yeah.
Right.
Boom. And then Fred was the only one who was like, yo, like I believe in equity, I believe in ownership. So long story short, right, that's the origin story, that's how it was. Season 2, we go and then we break through. Boom. Right. Major. And then so everybody, we're starting to button up stuff. We're trying more deals, looking at NASCAR, looking at certain things. And then, Fred comes, he's like, yo, let's have a meeting. We schedule a meeting, didn't come, scheduled it again. Then we start going through it. And he and I could not align because he kept going back to, 25% of the company. And I'm looking at I'm like, bro, like I invested $500K at this point. Like the numbers change.
Right.
And so we could never align there. And again, going back to how it's supposed to be, right? Like, how did you contribute to it? And I always say this, and I say this a couple of times: take the emotion out of money.
Yep.
Right, because I'm sitting in the office and we're having some tense conversations, some tense moments, and I'm looking at him like, bro, I invested everything. Right. And so there was a couple times where I'm like, nah, that Pittsburgh B.Marsh that you talking about came out.
That's the B.Marsh you want to see.
You know what I'm saying? But that's the learning lesson for me.
Right.
Like even in those moments, you always got to operate from a professional standpoint, right? Can't go in no meeting and say, man, fuck that, man, I invested all the money, like, but I'm getting frustrated because we're having these conversations for 6-7 months.
Right.
Like it wasn't just like we were literally trying to get on the same page.
Right.
And so for me, that was another opportunity where I could have done things differently, was in those most heated, tense moments, kept my poise. Right. So I think it's all about the business. And then I think at the end of the day, I had a few people ask, say like, well, if you paying me this, how much are you getting? Right. And so it just got real messy at the end. And then at the end, they looked at, well, I could potentially go make more money doing my own thing. And so it is tense still. You know what I mean? But like, I try to approach it more like I try to get the information out there because we live in a world now where everybody wants to know. Right. And it's important for us to be real and authentic. But what I'm trying not to do is fuel the negativity. What I'm trying not to do is talk bad about this person, that person, that person. I'm going to take accountability for my part in it. Right. But one thing I know for sure is where I come from, you know what I mean? Like, I'm always good.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't play no games.
Right.
To the point where that's what gets me in trouble. Mm-hmm. I'm too real. Right. I'm too authentic.
Right.
I'm willing to go there.
Right.
Right. But that don't win in ball all the time. That don't win in business.
Nope.
Nah.
Right. And so I say that because when it comes down to what we talk about and what we doing and what is a fair deal, what is a right deal, I'm always right there.
Right.
So bad business be bad, that bad. No. I invested $10 million to this point in my company. My vision is my vision. Mm-hmm. Right? Now, do I sit down with my team and other people and try to give me input? But if I'm working this every day and you got another thing, you got 20 other things, this is my purpose. I put this in place in 2014.
Right.
I'm the one hiring everybody, firing everybody, the stuff that nobody else see.
Right.
Like this person tripping, this person asking for a pay raise, this person saying they want to go over here. We're in the middle of a pandemic too.
Right.
Right. So it's a lot going on. So like, I always look at, and it's the last thing I would say, you know, because we can talk about it forever. In this situation, I look at it like, what do I need to take from that situation that's going to help me in the future?
Right.
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 So I learned a lot.
Right.
I learned a lot.
Right.
For sure.